Good morning, everybody. I'm Yona, and welcome to my place on YouTube, my channel. And it's early this morning, and I'm doing some downloading of some material for my equipment. So I thought I would take a few minutes and get into something that my wife and I talked about a little bit. I'm 60 years old, and that caught up fast. It's amazing how fast time flies. And the old adage that the older you get, the faster it goes is very true. And but there's other things that compound that situation in this day and age. There is literally a speeding up of time, in the sense of relativity. It's scientifically speaking, the Earth's rotation is slowing, and it's comparable to a car putting on its brakes. Anybody knows that when you put the brakes on, it throws you forward, and the harder you put the brakes on, the faster forward you're thrown. And so in essence, what's happening is the Earth's rotation, as it slows, is creating a forward thrust. And so it's all relative. You can't see it on your watch because everything is relative. And but they've had to reset the atomic clocks and all that stuff that they do to keep track of exactly what time it is. Back in the 80s, they began doing this, and so we know for a fact that that's happening. So anyway, my point is that as I get older, and as you get older, and then you add the thing of the time itself actually accelerating, it goes by at lightning speed, it feels like, at 60 years old. And I was on another video, I was talking about how my 60 years old doesn't seem to equate to my father's 60-year-old. His generation was different. It was they were old at that age, for the most part. And that's not to say I don't have my aches and pains and the problems that do come with aging, but at the same time, I certainly don't think that I've aged in the same manner that previous generations has. And there's a lot of reasons for that, and they're related to the Earth slowing its rotation, the what general time it is. When I say what general time it is, I'm talking about this is 2010. We're moving into 2011, and unless you've been asleep, you all know that there's been lots and lots of programs on TV, let's say, that are addressing the 2012 phenomenon. December 21st, 2012 is the end of the age, and meaning the age, we've been in the age of Pisces, the Piscean age, for some 2160 years roughly. And each age, there's 12 of them, and that's where we get the houses in the zodiac. And so nonetheless, we're moving into the age of Aquarius. If you remember back several years ago, there was all the talk about the age of Aquarius, and that's what's happening. We're moving into a new age, and the way this whole thing works is related to a thing called the Precession of the Equinoxes. And I imagine most of you have heard of that, and maybe many of you know what it is. but I'll give you a short description of it. What it is the Earth is tilted on her axis. If you run a pole through the center of the Earth, instead of being straight up and down, she's tilted over a little bit, and she not only turns and then goes around the sun and all these things, she wobbles. She has several different wobbles, but there's one main one that takes roughly 26,000 years to complete one complete wobble. And what that's about, that's precessing. It wobbles backwards. And so half of 26 is 13,000 years. If she's tilted this way, she's tilted to that point in the universe. And then when she gets to the end of this ecliptic orbit, she tilts back over and wobbles this way for another 13,000 years, and then tilts back over and does it all again. It's cyclical. That's one complete wobble is one age. And so anyway, this is why we talk about we're moving into the fifth world. The Mayans, the Hopi, the Cherokee, and many other cultures around the planet talk about this, and in one way or another. But the thing they all have in common is that they are all relating to a particular time for the culmination of it all, and the beginning of a new age. And so what we have is a whole lot of information spoken of and prophesied down through the eons of time about this particular time. Our Bible gives us prophecies relative to the second coming of Christ, the end of time, and the restoration of earth, the creation of a new earth and heavens, and all these things that are spoke of there. And it's just really interesting. I mean, you can't live in this day and age and not be cognizant, to be aware that there is something going on. And anybody with any brains whatsoever is going to want to know, or is going to ask, what is it? What's happening? How does this affect me? How does it relate to me? What part do I play in it? And those are all great questions, because to the one, it puts me in mind of a little story about a little girl that was walking down the beach, and this was after a storm, and there was a gazillion, there's a number for you, a gazillion sand dollars laying on the beach that had been washed in, and many of them live. And so anyway, she starts picking them up and throwing them back into the ocean, trying to save them. And a man that's watching this asks her, why are you doing that? There's so many of them. What difference does it make? And she says to him, to the one, it makes a difference. To that one that I pick up and save by putting it back in the ocean, to that one, it makes a difference. So in the same sense, each one of us, to that one, to you, it's going to make a difference how this all works and relates and what it's about. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful understanding to come to. And you can come to an understanding because there are universal truths that are fixed. They may be defined with different words and different approaches, but the nature of the truth does not change. It has a particular nature. So that's why in your heart, when you hear something, you go, oh yeah, that's that feels right. That sounds true to me. Well, that's because we know within ourselves those things which are right and proper and correct. and those which are not. And so when we do hear the truth, that spirit of the truth makes that connection and gives us that sensibility of connection and wholeness and all these things. And I think I'm probably going to run into getting into too long. And so what I'm going to do is I'll keep making these until I am guided by the source that guides me and drives me to stop, to say that's enough. So anyway, again, my name's Jonah, and I care because to the one it makes a difference. I'm not trying to change anybody. I'm not trying to change the world by myself. What I'm doing is sharing things that hopefully, as we share in these connections and understandings, that individually people take it upon themselves to care enough to change themselves. And because that's the only thing that we can really change is ourselves. I can't change you. I can't change anything other than myself. And in this process, I share the universal truths as I'm given them. They don't belong to me. I don't pretend to own them or have something that you don't have, because we all come from the same source. So I say to you, take what you hear and understand that the ears does with words what the mouth does with food. Either you chew it up and you swallow it and it becomes part of your makeup, or you reject it and it you spit it out. And then we learn that if it's something we need to look at again, it'll keep popping up until we deal with it in a manner that is conducive to harmony and all that sort of thing within ourselves. So anyway, again, I'm headed out of here for a little bit. Come back and visit often. Hopefully there'll be more of these, Lord willing, and all that sort of thing. My name's Jonah. Data Dagohang. Go with grandfather until the next time. See ya.